Hello power probers. In this video we're going to cover the negative peak mode of the Power Probe 3. I'm Jeff, CEO here at Power Probe. Let's get started. First, the Power Probe 3 needs to be connected to the vehicle's battery. Now that sound you just heard is the Power Probe 3 going into Power Probe mode. Now when you probe a circuit, the display shows average voltage. Now when the Power Probe 3 is in negative peak mode, it will monitor the probe and display the lowest voltage level that the circuit dropped to during a test. Now let's put the Power Probe 3 into negative peak mode and get an understanding on how to use it. Since we're in Power Probe mode right now, press and hold the mode button until it beeps. You're now in negative peak mode. You can see this by the negative sign in the lower left-hand corner of the display. Now the first test we'll do using the negative peak mode will be a cranking voltage test. As you know, pressing the power switch forward supplies voltage to the probe tip and displays the battery voltage right on the LCD. Now in this test, we will hold the power switch down so that we can continuously monitor the battery voltage. Now to hold the power switch down, we'll install the Power Probe 3 switch latch and we'll slide that forward. Now let's sample the probe tip voltage by a quick tap of the mode button. Now as you can see, the display shows battery voltage. If there's any drop in voltage, the Power Probe 3 will capture and hold the lowest voltage peak on the display. Now let's crank the starter and watch the Power Probe 3 display. Now as you can see, the Power Probe 3 captured and held the lowest voltage measurement. Now some of you may be wondering why the voltage is lower than 9.6 volts. Well, that's because the Power Probe 3 captured the voltage so quickly that the initial inrush current was at its max and the voltage drop was at its lowest. Now if you want to measure the cranking voltage when the starter speed stabilizes, quick tap the mode button during cranking to take a new voltage measurement, like this. "10.7. Now that's a good reading. The negative peak mode can also be used to diagnose an intermittent charging system problem. Now since we're inside the vehicle, we'll connect the Power Probe 3 using the cigarette lighter adapter. Now let's set it to the negative peak mode. Then press the mode button while the engine is running. We'll now drive around the block and include motion in the flexing of the vehicle.
Make it right and turn it off.
Now let's load the system by turning on the blower motor. If the display drops below charging voltage, the Power Probe 3 will capture and hold that reading. This shows that your charging system is failing. Now you can clamp a redundant ground cable from the alternator ground to the negative battery terminal to make a comparison. You can also wiggle the pigtail that feeds the alternator to see if that causes the voltage drop to drop down. And when it does, the Power Probe 3 will hold the lowest reading for you to see. Another application for the negative peak mode is to monitor a fuel pump relay for voltage drop. Let's connect the Power Probe 3 to the voltage supply side of the fuel pump and put it in negative peak mode. Now let's start the engine and then quick tap the mode button. Here we can see that it's supplied with battery voltage and that feeds the fuel pump circuit. Now if there's a voltage fallout or a drop, such as a failing relay or failing supply current, the Power Probe 3 will capture the lowest voltage and hold it on the display. Now that I was able to show you a couple applications of the negative peak mode, let's return your Power Probe 3 back to Power Probe mode. Since we're still in negative peak mode, press and hold the mode button. You're now in positive peak mode. Press and hold the mode button again. You're now in peak to peak mode. Press and hold the mode button again. You're now in voltage level threshold setting. Quick tap the mode button until you have 50 in the display. And now press and hold the mode button. You're now in Power Probe mode with the voltage level set to its factory default of 50 volts. As long as the threshold is set to 50 volts, your Power Probe 3 will work just like the day you opened the box. We want to thank you Power Probers for watching our video tips on the negative peak mode. If you have any applications where the negative peak mode really helped you out, or any questions about your Power Probe 3, I'd love to hear about that. Just send me an email at jeff@powerprobe.com. Till next time.